If you're so focused on what's going on around you and the crappiest of the crappy stuff, you're focused on all of the bad news that you see on the media. You're focused on how people are driving. Oh my gosh, that driver over there just cut me off. Screw that guy. You're so focused on what's going on with your friend circle, what's going on with your family members. Why aren't they fixing their lives? You're so focused on everything else that's going on around you that you have no energy left for you. I had a really hard time understanding that my focus was creating my reality. And so I would complain about what I was experiencing, how I felt in my body. I would complain about my current status. I would complain about the situation that I was in. I would complain about the circumstances that I was in. And for the longest time, I had no idea that my focus was just being reflected back at me. And I'm just hoping that I'm able to kind of share that with you, and just so you can kind of get a better understanding and there can be a little bit more intention with how you feel. There are signs and clues that our body is giving us, and when you start to feel those heavy emotions come up, or those frustrations, and just feeling upset about what you're experiencing, those are, I would say, like little hidden gems to show you, like, hey, you don't have to quite be experiencing this right now. Are you ready to level up? Are you ready to experience something new? And within that, it gives you more power. But when you stay in these places that you don't feel celebrated, you don't feel good, and you kind of you're pushing your intuition away. You know that these people are frustrating. You know that this situation is upsetting you, it's breaking your heart, it's making you feel like you're less than. But the reason why it hurts you so bad is because you are believing that this is all that you're worth. You're believing that you should be treated this way, or that this is all that you're worth, is these experiences, whether it be, like a lack of funds, or a lack of people that support you. You're going to continue to experience, and I'm not trying to tell you this to scare you, to make you think like, oh, once you're in a bad spot, and if your mental state, or if your mind, your focus if it's not going to improve, that's all you're going to experience. It kind of makes you just feel like there's going to be like this heavy cloud around you at all times, almost like the character Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh, and you just, you're going to be glum the rest of your life. No, we are constantly given the opportunity to change, to shift, to grow. And so within that, I'm asking you, what is it that you're continuing to experience? No matter what town you live in, no matter what city you move to, the experiences seem to be the same. You keep meeting the same guy that treats you the same way. You keep meeting the same friends that ditch you, that don't hold you in a high regard. And at that point, when is it that you're going to take a step back and say, what is it that I am emitting that is attracting this kind of situation, and know that you are worth way more. And it's only because of the belief that you have within you is that you are experiencing that. So within that is power. Within that, you find solace to know that on your way will be the situation, the scenario, the experiences that you are seeking, because they are not above you. You were meant to experience pleasure and fun and excitement. It doesn't have to be this just heavy, sad experience of a life. You are not meant to play small anymore. It's time for you to step into what makes you feel good, what makes you feel celebrated. I cannot share this enough. So, that being said, how can we add more into our lives to help our focus shift into more experiences that you want to experience? What would that be? How can we add more into our focus so we can feel more excitement, we can feel more joy, we can feel more inspired, or even creative? Because this is huge. Our creative energy is the most powerful energy that we have. That it, once you take a step into it, by trying a new hobby, by trying something new, by stepping outside of your comfort zone and trying something new other than video games or other than shopping. Because I know a lot of us get stuck in these loops where you think that that's just your hobby, that's all you're going to be doing. Step outside of yourself, because there is so much more. Trying to find a new hobby, and obviously we're not going to be good at it right away. Don't let that discourage you. And once you step into that, watch how the weight on your shoulders are lifted. Watch how you're going to feel more inspired and excited to wake up in the morning. You're going to have a little bit more of a pep in your step. You know that feeling when you were maybe like a really young child, and I know everybody's lifestyles are different, so this might have been different from you, but my experience as a child, and when Christmas was coming around, it just felt lighter, it felt exciting, and it's almost like you knew that there was a present waiting, and or a celebration, a family was going to get together, or it just felt good. There was magic in the air. Know that you can access that right now, and that magic never went anywhere. And it was only our limited beliefs stacked on top of each other with all of these expectations from society, from what we are learning from school, what we've learned from our families, that you can't try that because that's just not you. Or you can't do that because you're not smart enough, or you can't do this because that's just your body type is not like that. I really want you to just step outside of your comfort zone, try something new, watch how the weight just lifts off, and you start to realize that your focus is everything. So correcting yourself and adding more into, like, when you catch yourself, analyzing a situation that has nothing to do with you. Say, I'm choosing to add this into my life. And it's not to bypass any anger or resentment or anything like that. You're not bypassing your emotions. You're adding more into your life because it's what we've learned. We've learned this from our families. We've learned this from our friends. We've learned this from all the other places around us. But what really feels good to our heart and our soul is investing more time in ourselves and really understanding that we are creators. And I'm just hoping to get through to anybody that's open and willing to try something that is just so outside of the box that it kind of makes you a little bit scared. Because every single time that you do it, I'm telling you, confidence through the roof. You get the tingles because you're choosing a different path. You're not choosing the same path over and over again. And I know it's so easy to get upset at yourself when you don't do these things the right way or really well right away. And that'll be a conversation for another time. But just try not to judge yourself so harshly. It's not going to be perfect, and that's the fun part.